friends, and welcome to the Path to Freedom. This beautiful path where we get to set ourselves free. This beautiful path where we get to continuously allow for the next great and grand expression of who and what we are, which is always about more love, about peace, about more joy, about more harmony, about more wholeness, abundance, to be expressed, to be revealed in us and through us. So we're setting ourselves free from the limitations, which mostly are the limitations of the mind, fear, worry, doubt, sense of not being enough, sense of not having enough, sense of lack and scarcity and separation. And we're setting ourselves free to shine, to glow ever more powerfully, never more brightly. So my name is Daniel Roquillo, and as always, thank you so much for tuning in, for participating, for joining me in a moment of doing just this, setting ourselves free through expanding our consciousness, through raising our vibration. Today's topic is we're all free as a bird. We're all free as a bird. And I don't know if I was out walking or if I was out on the deck, but a few days ago I was observing this bird and it was flying. And it was flying in a straight line, and all of a sudden, to me, seemingly out of nowhere, it just turned and took off in a completely new direction. And obviously I have no idea of knowing what was going on in the bird's mind or why it suddenly turned. But to me, it seemed very sudden, and it seemed very impulsive, and it seemed very kind of haphazardly. But it got me thinking, and as I know I've shared before, I absolutely love nature as a teacher. I absolutely love nature as a teacher. There is so much inspiration. There's so much wisdom to be found in nature. And so observing this bird that was first headed in one direction and then suddenly just took off in a new direction, it reminded me that freedom that the bird knew and felt, that freedom that the bird gave voice to, that it expressed, that it allowed to be revealed, that same freedom is who and what we are. We not only are that freedom, we have that freedom. As every single moment offers to us an opportunity for us to make new choices, offers to us an opportunity to make changes in our lives, offers to us an opportunity to take off in a new direction, just like that bird. Because there's nothing in the past that is holding us captive other than our thoughts as to what should and should not be, other than our thoughts as to what is possible, what we are worthy of, what we are capable of. That bird could have flown in the one direction for all of its life. In the moment it changed its direction, the destination was completely not reversed, changed. And so the same applies to us. We can be heading in a particular direction, and perhaps this is the direction that we've been heading for all of our lives, but suddenly we come to the realization, suddenly we begin to believe that it is possible for us to have a different kind of life. that it is possible for us to show up differently in life, that it is possible for us to have our lives be about something else, that it is possible for us to show up differently in life. And in that moment, the moment we begin to make, now this bird, it completely changed its direction. It was not a 180 degrees, but let's say that it was 45 degrees. But even had the bird just made a slight correction, a slight course correction, a slight turn to the right or to the left, even a small change over a period of time allows us to be moving in a completely different direction. So it is not about us making major changes, but it is about us continuously, as we're walking this path, continuously making small, incremental, and sometimes very sudden, but oftentimes small and incremental course corrections, kind of like an airplane on autopilot that I would suppose is making course corrections all of the time, depending on winds and currents and whatnot. So to adjust and to compensate for how much the wind is blowing and whatever else is going on up there, it is making small course corrections that allows it to stay on course. Well, we get to make small course corrections. We get to observe. We get to stop, take a look at our lives, feel into our lives, and ask ourselves the question, is this what I want my life to be about? Is this how I want to show up? And if the answer is no, we get to choose differently. We get to make new choices. We get to begin to, first of all, we get to say yes to that which we wish to experience. We get to say yes to how we want to show up in life or what we wish our lives to be about. Even if that is not the case right now, even if that is not our experience right now, we can still say yes to it. Just like saying yes to a dream or a vision or an intention. So we can ask ourselves, what is it that I wish for my life to be about? How do I wish to show up in life? Or we can ask ourselves another set of beautiful questions. This path that I'm on, these choices that I'm currently making, or this choice that I just made, are these in alignment with what I wish for my life to be about? And if they're not, we get to make new choices. There's no lot in life that we are stuck with. God, not being a man in the sky, but a loving presence that is always for itself, that is everything, that is every space and place and being an object. This loving presence is always for itself. It is always seeking to come into greater and greater expressions of itself in us and through all creation. That is you and me. And every leaf and every star and every grain of sand and every slug and every crabfish and every dolphin and every raindrop and every snowflake, every gust of wind. It is always it is always being in a space and state of expansion and progression. So God has not put us here to endure life, to struggle, to fight, to effort. God has put us here so that we may do what God intends for us to do, which is to grow, unfold, expand. So there's always that next greater and grander version of who and what we are that is waiting to be midwife, that is waiting to be emerged, always from within us. And as we begin every single time we make new choices. Every single time we expand in our consciousness, every single time we raise ourselves into higher vibration, a new version of who and what we are is being birthed. And as every single moment offers such opportunity for new beginning, it means that in every single moment we are as free as that bird to take off in any direction. It does not mean, now with a bird, when it changed its mind, whatever happened in that moment that made it take off in a new direction, with the bird, the demonstration of that choice was very immediate. In our lives, the demonstrations and the manifestations are not always as immediate. They're not always as instant. But sometimes the demonstrations and the manifestations arising out of our new choices, they take time. It takes time before there's a gestation period sometimes, which simply means that a period of time needs to elapse between the new choice that we've made and the demonstration of that choice. But the moment we make a new choice, in that very moment, by virtue of our making a new choice, we're locking on to a different version of who and what we are. Every single version, every single possibility of our lives already exists in the infinite mind. Every single possibility. But and as long as we stay on course, we're en route for the one possibility. The moment we make new choices, the moment we make course corrections in our lives, we're now bound for another version, hopefully a higher expression of who and what we are. But it's already done. It's in the infinite mind, that version already exists. And it is God's will that we allow for the greatest, for the most magnificent, for the most radiant expression of who and what we are to emerge. So we are as free as a bird to make any choice at any moment. I know the ego will object. I know the ego has excuses. I know the ego is trying to convince us that we are choiceless, that it's an impossibility for this condition or that experience or that situation to change, that it is impossible for our lives to change, that we are stuck here. I want us to know that we're not stuck in any lot. We're not stuck in any place, in any space. Change is the only constant in all of cosmos, in all of creation. Everything is in a constant change, constant space and state of change. Evolution is happening always. Growth is happening always. Expansion is happening always. But we, as humans with our human mind, having been given the free will, the gift of independent thinking, we get to choose to either participate in that change or to be in a space of stagnation, staying the same. And God has no opinions about that. So we get to choose. So do we want to lock ourselves up in a cage of impossibilities? In a cage of improbabilities? In a cage of it can't be done? Or do we want to tap into that innate, inherent freedom that this beautiful bird gave voice to? So the invitation for us today is to look at our lives. Look at our minds. Where are we holding on to stories as to it's not possible, I cannot do this, it cannot be done? this is going to stay the same forever. Or do we want to set ourselves free? Free to soar, free to allow for the next great and grand expression and version of who we are, free to allow for more love, for more joy, for more peace, for more harmony, to emerge, free to follow our heart's desires, free to say yes to that dream, free to say yes to that great and grand vision, intention for our lives, for ourselves. It is all up to us. If we don't make the choice, it's not going to be made for us. A rose cannot choose to be something but a rose. A tulip cannot be anything but a tulip. But we, with this beautiful mind of ours, we get to choose. Who do I want to be? How do I want to show up in life? What is that I wish for my life to be about? And we get to begin to make choices that are in alignment with that. That are in alignment with that. That's the invitation. That's our calling. That's what it means to be a conscious co-creator. To play ball with God. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in, for listening. Until we meet again, I absolutely, lovingly bless your day, and I bless your way, knowing, feeling that right where you are, all is well, that something wonderful is happening, that everything is working for the highest good. Boundless love and blessings.